Hi everybody, I'm going to do a very quick curing rack update, and I'll show you a little bit on a few of the shelves where I've got products ready for autumn, which just went live at the weekend. Okay, top shelf is my porn stash White Witch soap. That's the best seller and I just need to package those. Next to White Witch is this one, which is Cordwainer. These labels have just come in. And that's the one I think I filmed the making of this one, so it got a really lovely top on it. And I used cocoa and just a bit of titanium dioxide. Next to that was this one here, Bowl Book and Candle, and this one came out really pretty this time. I used a bit of green, like it's a khaki green, I think it's called jungle green. And I used like a very deep royal purple, which I mixed with black and then put it on a white base. And I just love the way the swirls turned out on this one. Okay, next to that is Owlet's End. This was the batch, one of the first ones I made for Halloween. It just has some meadow grass and a black-eyed bean on, or black-eyed pea on the top. And the base is coloured with some nutmeg dust, and then it just discolours by itself, and then the black portion is just some charcoal. Okay, sorry for my camera skills, they're not very good. This one is Pumpkinhead, and I dropped the H on head, call it Pumpkinhead because that's how we talk around these parts. And this one I just adore. I put some cocoa in the base, then a layer of orange, and then the black and white in the pot swirl with the rest of the batter, and then just topped it with the pumpkin, which is unscented, but I had to make like those before I made this soap, so I didn't know if it was going to discolour or not. Luckily it didn't. So this one just smells like pumpkins and apples and cinnamon and cloves and that kind of scent. That's gorgeous. I've just been packaging some up, but I thought before I finish I may as well just show the shelf from, you know, where I was making stuff for autumn. The next batch will be Halloween, which I won't be starting just yet. Okay, so this one is Toffee Moon Face, and I put some soap balls in there which I coated in cocoa, and this one smells of toffee and caramel and apple, and it's lovely. I forgot up here I did make a small batch of cracked coconut, and this is like a really nice it's just a really nice tropical coconut smell. It's not suntan like suntan lotion in any way. It's just a really, really nice cracked coconut scent. So I've got some of that left. Down here is a Game of Thrones inspired soap which I made called Milk of Marine. This scent, I've made other products in it. I've done like bath milks and bath salts and a few other things. And this one has milk, dragon's blood, sandalwood, frankincense, myrrh, and I can't remember the last note, but there's quite a complex blend, but it's really nice, sort of incensey with that milk. The milk just adds a really nice creaminess to it, so I love Milk of Marine. That's like a customer favourite scent. This one here is called Santa Carla Vampire, and this one's named after the Lost Boys. And I just found like a back cutter, and this one is scented in blackcurrant, licorice and lychee. So that one's really, really nice, and I just did like a drop swirl in there, as you can see. It's pretty, came out pretty. And then moving down, there's just some wax melts and these are just some solid lotions I've been working on for myself. I just like I used a sea salt and wood sage fragrance oil, which I love, so I've just made these for myself, and they're just like cocoa and shea butter and a bit of olive oil and a few other bits and pieces, but they're not for sale. It's just something that I've made for me. And I've got a bit of a stash there. That's a little soap bar and some wax melts for myself. Down here is the Mama Didn't Listen So I Told the Bees soap, which I made on video a couple of weeks back, and it's looking really pretty. And that base was so dark. I used a bit of charcoal with, actually no I didn't, I think I just used cocoa powder. But I used cocoa powder in olive oil, and I used a lot of cocoa powder in the olive oil just to get that depth of colour. Okay, so that's that one. And then down here we have some hair rinses, which I think some of them are sold out already. This all went live on Sunday, so it was quite busy, but there's still quite a bit left. And also some bath salts, which I was bagging up on my Instagram live story last week, if any of you watched. So there's Dust Switch, there's Pumpkinhead, Mama Didn't Listen, Owlet's End and Toffee Moonface this time. And there'll be some more for Halloween. Moving along then. There's just some sample pots of body creams which have been selling. Moving down there a bit more. Then there's some soaps which are all packaged ready for sending. Some more soaps. And there's some perfume oils, a few I've just made on the shelf. I make my perfume oils to order, so when people order them I just make them when I need them rather than having a stash on the shelf. Up there are just some odds and ends, some scrubs and some whip soaps from summer which I've got left. Then we're on to some general catalogue whip soaps going down there, and then here are the soaps I've just been packaging ready to send in orders. Tomorrow I'm going to be starting sending orders out the door. We've got Owlet's End, Toffee Moonface, Pumpkinhead. There's my tank cutter, there's my bud cutter. Loads of people, when they watch my videos, they always ask me where this is from, and it's a bud cutter. If you go to Etsy and tap in soap cutter, you will find this, or many like it. So yeah, it's Bud Hafner, I think his name was. So you'll find him. If you look on Etsy, you'll find him. Just get up off the floor. Okay, up here are more general catalogue bath salts I've just been working on, and then here are all the whip soaps for autumn going along there. So whip soaps, we've got Pumpkinhead, we've got Pumpkin Eater. Pumpkin Eater's so good. It's like it's very strong maple syrup with a frosted pumpkin, and I just love it so much. Sugar Plum Tea used to be a Yule scent, but I brought it into autumn because it's just a really nice, like, it's got pine, it's got sugar, it's got plum, it's just got some really like jammy fruits, and it's just a really nice scent. It's quite Christmassy, but also for this time of the year, like autumn, it just suits the time of the year really well, so I love that. Pandemonium is one of the customer favourites. This just always sells. This one is a walnut and caramel, what do I put in there? Rich decadent fudge caramel cups, sponge sugar, and yeah, sweet caramelised nuts. So that is just beautiful. And then Dust Witch on the end there. Dust Witch is another customer favourite, which is a rhubarb scent with incense and jasmine, sandalwood, patchouli, that kind of scent. Down here we've got some more hair rinses from General Catalogue. Then General Catalogue body creams along there. And then some scrubs I've made for autumn. Wearing myself out. There's the other soaps I've been packaging. So this time, because I've made them into cubes, like, well, they're not cubes, these are like rectangle chunks. The labels that I normally use, which are cigar bands, don't work. So I can't find like them long enough. So I've used a square label, which I get printed, and then I've just used some really nice like paper card stuff, like cardstock, which I've bought in those big books you can buy for like paper crafting. So I've wrapped them like that, and then of course my own paper on the, like, around the soap. So I think they look, you know, they're all right. They're not amazing, but they're all right for, you know, putting them together for something. I needed to just do something to make it work so I can send the mail order and they won't get damaged in the post. So that's why they're like that. Then down there are the body whips for autumn. So we've got Sugar Plum Tea, Mama Didn't Listen, Owlet's End, Toffee Moonface, Pumpkinhead and Dust Witch. So that's it for now. Over here I have my shelf where I take a lot of pictures, and at the top I've got some herbs. That's not all of them, it's just a few that I've been using lately, so I just stash them up there. Then along there's a few aroma chemicals that I use in perfumery, and a bag full of aroma chemical samples which are good for testing. And I did this when I was doing my exams for perfumery. I bought this stash bag so that I could just create and make a few bits and smell them all, so I knew what they smelled like. Along here, some soap samples which I've just been bagging up. That's got an incense stick stuck in it. These are mine. These are my little samples that I keep for myself and take them home. So don't worry, you won't get one with an incense stick stuck in the top. These are just some samples. Again, that's Bellbook and Candle, that's Pumpkinhead, Toffee Moonface, and then there's some more, and then there's some dried herbs which I use for incense and things like that, and then my mess all over my table because I've been doing the labels today. So that's about it. That's all I've got to show you. I'll just give you a quick scan of my room, computer, my window, and that's where I'm working over there in that corner. So my water's there. It's just junk. It's just a bit of a mess today because I've been a little bit busy trying to finish a few things off before I start packing orders in a little while. So I hope you enjoyed that little snippet, and I'll see you soon. Bye.